add on here in the
Yeah.
last couple of days. We have a bantamweight matchup on this card between Jonathon Martinez, who's 13-3 and is the minus 310 favorite, versus Davey Grant, who is 12-4 and is the plus 250 underdog. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, this is the classic tale of two different styles, right? Martinez is strong on his feet with 7 knockout wins, where Grant is a specialist on the ground with 8 submissions. I see Grant shooting for takedowns early, kind of like what you were saying previously, to exploit Martinez's 33% takedown defense. From there, I think it's going to be tough for Martinez. But if Martinez can keep the fight standing, it's a different story. Martinez should look to mix in leg and body kicks which could keep Grant from shooting, because you never want that knee to come in right when you're going for a shot. We've seen that happen
Yeah.
many times before. This is a tough one. Martinez has been on a tear his last 5. He's been 4-1 with wins over Thomas Almeida, and then he's got wins over Liu and Wuji, Science. He's really doing well. Whereas Grant's 3-2 with wins over Dave Popov. He lost to Bermudez and Stasak by submission, but he's got a big win over Chito Vera, which is huge, because Chito Vera is a proven fighter. With this one, I'm going to go with Davey Grant. Again, submission, second round. I didn't realize that I'm picking, so far, every single underdog. But I'm going with it. I'm going to ride with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, for me, this fight is like the one of the ultimate bargains if you're like a better because of the numbers,
Yeah.
especially with David Grant, who's the plus 250 underdog. I don't know how it's that high, but
Is he taking it on short notice? Maybe that's what is depicting these numbers.
it could be. I would have to look into it. But first, we got Martinez. His fighting resume shows that he has 7 wins by knockout, 2 by submission, and 4 by decision. He also has 2 first round finishes by submission and 1 by knockout. He lands more than he absorbs strike wise and needs improvement on his defense. So, of course, Martinez is a striking master, but he needs to learn to cover up and take less damage than he's doing. It's just like before. Like you can be really good at striking, but when you're taking on more than you're putting out, that's not good. That means you're going to slow down eventually because you're taking too much punishment than you're putting it out. You
Yeah,
always want to put it.
he keeps his hands low.
Yeah.
Like he carries his hands really low, and he does absorb a lot more than
And then
the
you
normal
got
fighter.
And then you got Davey Grant, whose resume shows that he has 2 wins by knockout, 8 by submission, and 2 by decision. So it's just like the opposite. He's a grappler. He also has 7 first round finishes with a combined effort of knockouts and submissions. So it's been like 50-50 with that. The big thing with him is he lands twice as much as he takes in damage. So even though he's not as poised as a striker, he strikes. He puts out more strikes than he takes in. So obviously, it shows that even if his defense isn't top notch, he knows how to make sure that he doesn't take in more than he puts out, volume wise, which is complete opposite of Martinez. Like you would expect it to be the opposite, but being a grappler, that's a really good trait to have. And in this fight, he has above average defense, and he averages 3 takedowns a fight. So I expect in this fight, I picked Davey Grant. I have him by unanimous decision. I feel like he's going to control the fight. He's going to take down Martinez, and then he's going to do some punishment because of Martinez not being able to cover himself up. Like you said, he keeps his hands low, and it's going to leave his face for punishment, basically. I feel like what will keep him in it is maybe David Grant gets too strike happy, knowing that the face is going to be wide open, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I gotta keep going after him," and it could be like Martinez might be able to use it as bait.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Aljamain Sterling did in his title fight against John, where he came out heavy and hard, kind of like you know he was going to shoot for takedowns because he's strategically a wrestler, BJJ guy, and he goes out there and he just starts peppering in these shots. If Grant does that, you don't want to get to a point where you're gassed by round 2 and you can't shoot for those takedowns. That's what we saw with Aljo, how hard it was for him to get Jan down on the takedowns. I'm not saying that Jonathon Martinez is Peter Jan, because he's not, but I feel like if you're going to try and pepper in those punches, keep the pace something where you're comfortable that you don't exert so much energy you can't get that takedown, because the takedown is the key to this fight, like you said. I think Davey Grant's just going to go in there maybe like half a minute into the fight, and he's going to go shoot for these takedowns.
Yeah, I think the difference though with that fight is Aljo was attacking the head.
Yeah.
When Jan was just going like this. Jan has basic defense like this.
Yeah.
He left his body wide open, and I thought Sterling should have attacked the body, because
he was point fighting.
Yeah.
That's all he was doing. He was just trying to touch him and maintain control, because I don't know if he knew he could take those get those takedowns, because Jan proved that his takedown defense was phenomenal.
But all he had to do was attack the body.
Absolutely.
And then
wear him down,
because it's wide open. And once you attack the body, that's when Jan's gonna go like this and go down, because he's gonna have to protect the body at some point. And then that's when you hit the face.
Yeah,
and then it gets to the point where he's got to go like this the whole time, and then Sterling has him where he wants him, because he already attacked where he wasn't defending, and then he has to start attacking that, or he's going to take too much damage in the body, and that's going to slow him down. I think that's where Sterling went wrong.
Yeah, it was like one of those game plans where you come in hot and you throw your opponent off because they think that you're going to shoot for his takedown. It's like Khabib coming in and strictly boxing and not shooting for a takedown till round 3.
Yeah.
Like your whole game plan is now catered to that takedown.
Yeah.
And when it's not coming, you don't know what to do. So you kind of throw your opponent off guard. It just happened that Aljo got gassed like midway through round 2, because that was a crazy amount of energy. And he's got great cardio, but that was too much.
Yeah, but in this one, I see differently, because Grant is going to be more patient.
Yeah,
he's going to shoot for the takedowns, but he's not striking wise. He's not going to go crazy like just attack like Barnstormer like Sterling is. He's going to take his time. He's going to be efficient. He's going to move around, and then he's going to go for the takedowns. And I think he's going to get it, because I don't think Martinez is going to do a good job defending it. And then it's going to be all about how Martinez can get up from that, and then get his striking going. Like, he can get him hit with a shot right to Grant, and then it could catch Grant, and then he could be done. But I feel like Grant's going to be patient, and I feel like even though he's the plus 250, like I said, I still favor Grant.
Yeah, I hope he wins, man. One of my underdogs has to win on this card, because I don't look like, I know you look at the odds. I never look at the odds. I just go based off of my gut. And then I always find out that it's either all the underdogs.
Yeah, I try and do like a happy medium. I mostly base off of what I see, but then when I look at odds, I'm like, okay, why is it that low? And then I look into it, because usually the odds tell you something.
Yeah.
And then but I haven't seen anything on this, so I'm like, they might just be favoring because he's a striker who can finish, but then we know that a lot of guys can grind out strikers,
Absolutely.
and that works great.
Yeah.
But to move on to the